SS13 is a multiplayer sandbox game taking place aboard the space station. Who would have guessed? Today I took on the challenge of the scientist and did, well, science. Watch to the end and I'll give you an imaginary cookie. Woo! Ready to make some poison? I began this shift like I usually did, by brewing space drugs out of mercury, lithium, and sugar. Don't worry though, I wasn't going to be messing around with drugs. They were simply an ingredient for something much more wholesome, deadly neurotoxin. While I let the neurotoxin heat up, I left the chemistry lab, going around to check in on how the other scientists were doing. Yo. Stole the telesci? Working on the teleporter. Monkey! My GPS! After leaving my coworker and their pet monkey, I went to the park to try and find some taste testers and test subjects for my new neurotoxin. Greetings, clown. Want to have some poison? Yes. Follow me. After insulting my poison, the clown took the pill and ran off, so I'm guessing he used it to poison some unsuspecting crew member. This is why I like clowns. Clown. Want to burn? No. Suit yourself. After having another conversation with the clown, I proceeded to return to the teleportation lab to check back in my coworker and their pet monkey. Where are y'all going? Huh. Want to test out the telepad. That doesn't sound very safe. It is. I recommend Grinder. After telling my coworker to teleport his party into the trash shredder, I returned to the chemistry lab to whip up some sulfuric acid in case of emergency. The acid turned out to be a surprise tool that will disfigure me later. As I finished making my acid, a mailman popped through the door and requested methamphetamine. I thought about helping them. Just kidding, the thought never crossed my mind, and I left the lab to do more science things. As I made my way through the halls, I decided that I should try and find some sort of weapon. Chemist I may be, I still was but a fragile human, and even a slight decapitation would have killed me. I decided to leave those weirdos behind because they were all screaming and running from something, so I decided, with my incredible intelligence, to run in the direction they came running from. But just to be sure, I turned on the fire alarm to lock down all the doors. It was at this moment that the radio host arrived, and in their separate off-board station, they began to play some jazzy tunes. Not actual jazz, it's just fun music. Space Station 13 is one of my favorite games. It's truly a game like no other. Once one gets past the horrible controls and UI, it's an experience that no other game shares. It's a station run by players where you take the role of a crew member, and your story is but a fragment of the larger tale of how Space Station 13 falls to ruin. A janitor, scientist, and security officer each have very different goals, and their interactions and the interactions with the rest of the crew create new conditions every game. I decided to leave the station, maybe pay the radio host a visit, but the teleporter was still being used by my coworker for their adventuring wings. So I went to the pod bay, only to find another scientist take the last shuttle. Curse you, scientists! It wasn't all bad news, however. I found a welding mask, which could double as a piece of armor in a bit of a pinch, and remembered that there was more than one way to get into space. On my way to my destination, I stopped by the bar to drink a glass of lemonade and almost avoided slipping in all the blood that someone left here. Rude. Finally, I arrived at my long-awaited destination, the station's chapel. You may wonder, why the chapel? Well, in the back of the room, there's a railgun for launching dead people into space. Which led into space. Usually, the chaplain was in the chapel. Luckily, it seems that they were dead. So no one stopped me from smashing open the hatch to the railgun with my trusty oxygen tank. It was then that I remembered, oh yeah, I can't survive in space. But I still wanted to launch someone into space, so I went to go find someone who could.
This is Skip Overstreet with Nanotrace Security Unit Local 476. Your local security department would like to remind you that we're just doing our jobs here, okay? People come onto our station all the time and cause trouble, and it's our job to stop that trouble. The chaplain go crazy, and now he's ranting about skulls and paint the walls with blood. We gotta stop that. Some jagoffs in red suits trying to blow up the station? We really gotta stop that. And sometimes we get some really weird crap on the station that we just gotta take care of. Like, well, I can't legally explain the crap that's out there, but let's just say it's some nasty stuff. And yeah, we gotta get hands-on with batons and tasers, but that's just part of the job. Just comply and you get to go home with most of your teeth. So stop with the pushing and the punching and the tripping us to try to take our stuff. Give us some room to work, because it would be a real shame were you to get a nightstick in the bread basket instead of the creep we was trying to subdue. We just want to sort stuff out, then everyone can go back to their dang lives and work in peace. Got it?
While looking around, I noticed that it appeared that someone blew up the bar. Luckily, I'm fairly certain that it wasn't me, so I went back to doing science things.
So this is Officer Overstreet, and I'm telling you to let security do its job, or else it's your ass in the brig. Got it? Because here at Nanotracing, we care for you. And because he signed the friggin' contract. Also, stop stealing shit!
After grabbing a cheap spacesuit and checking out the new teleporters cargo built, I returned to the chemistry lab to make some more poisons. Still without a worthy spaceman, I searched to find someone willing to be launched out on the space railroad. After leaving the lab, more poison in tow, I came to my coworker battling a cyborg. A fellow scientist flashed the machine and was stun locked with a pocket flasher. As we talk about whether or not to murder the cyborg, now might be a good time to explain what the robotics laws are. In order to stop the AI and cyborgs from killing the crew, or even worse, the clown, there's given a set of 3 laws that they must obey at all times. The laws being ripped straight from Asimov's books. There's number 1, don't kill people or let them die. Number 2, follow orders according to the station's chain of command. And 3, you may protect your own existence if you want to. It appeared this Borg wasn't following one of those rules, meaning it might be a dangerous, murderous, rogue killing machine, or, in hindsight, a new player who didn't understand how the laws worked when they were Borged. Oops. They ended up capturing the Borg, and after turning down my offer to make them a bomb, I made some acid instead to melt it. I accidentally poured the acid all over my face, and while my face itself took minor damage, it melted my helmet and my gas mask. Whoops. Anyone have any suggestions for teleporter pranks? For teleporter pranks, send butt bombs. Teleport them into the kill? Or beaker bombs full of lube. Teleport them into the engine ignition chamber? Teleport them into the trash shredder? The lube idea is good. Teleport them into deep space? I'll get that set up. Teleport them into the brig? While trying to break into the chaplain's room to incinerate myself, I found some coffins and a cyborg. Cyborgs didn't need O2. Cyborgs were fairly tough. Cyborgs didn't die in space. You do have a jetpack, right? No. Probably fine. But the board went off to explore new planets, which technically do exist out there, and some of them don't even have hordes of zombies. After asking around a lot, I finally found someone who did want to fight to the death. They wanted a wrench if they won, however, so I went and grabbed one from the table a few meters away, and we began the fight. I thought about beating him to death and ejecting his body. I really did. But in the end, I decided that murder was against the server rules, and instead I took him to medical. At this point, with my goals complete, launch someone into space and beat someone with an oxygen tank, I tried to bust into the cremator to incinerate myself so we could finally stop recording. Sadly, no one had the access to turn it on. I also walked in on what looked like an organ harvesting operation. That was fun.
The escape shuttle has now arrived.
While chilling in the cremator, the station got sufficiently exploded for the heads of staff to call the emergency escape shuttle. Once the shuttle arrived, the crew had 2 minutes to board, after which the shuttle would launch, taking surviving crew to Central Command, ending the round. Of course something went wrong. I don't know if it was a glitch or admin tomfoolery, but the shuttle charge time jumped up to 10 minutes! Luckily, we still found some way to entertain ourselves, so we grabbed the dead guy's body and started playing catch. It was pretty fun.
The escape shuttle is en route.
Eventually, as the shuttle launched, as we sped through space, stars whispering past us, I reflect on all that we had accomplished. The clowns we had armed, the Borgs we had ejected, the fights to the death we had won, and I decided that, all in all, this was a pretty lame round. Don't get me wrong, it was really fun. But of all the rounds to edit into a video, this one was fairly standard. Like, one round, me and my boss teleported into a lava moon and found a device which made one of us immortal. And another round, beat back a robot rebellion with the help of the radio host, the teleporter, and a good old all-access keycard. But in the end, this was still pretty fun.
The escape shuttle has docked at Central Command.
Well, if you enjoyed this video, like, comment, and subscribe. It really helps out small channels. Here's your imaginary cookie, woo! And if you want me to record more rounds, tell me in the comments. It means a lot. Thank you, and have a nice day.